you should be content in life with
Yeah,
whatever you.
that's so important.
हमेशा नीचे देखो, ऊपर मत
मत
देखो,
देखो
फिर
ये.
आपको पता चलेगा आप कितने ऊपर है.
Hello, everyone. This is me, Jyotika Bedi, your host and founder of Happiness is Love. Today, I have with me someone very, very special, Mr. Raj Nayak. Welcome.
Thank you, Jyotika. You are so cheerful and you're so, what do you say, vivacious early in the morning. Where do you get all your energy from?
When I connect with people like you, I feel energized.
That's
Seriously,
great.
the
Thank
energy.
you so much. And thank you for having me on your broadcast, your
It's a
podcast. Yeah.
pleasure. It's a pleasure, sir. And I want to just tell our audience a little bit about who you are and the great work that you're doing. You started your career with Tata Economic Services. You spent over 3 decades in media and entertainment industry. You worked with Star TV for almost 10 years, I believe, and you were a part of the leadership team. You were also the CEO for NDTV Media for almost 8 years, joined Colors as CEO, and later you became the Chief Operating Officer for Vicom 18, which is amazing. And I know what I love you about is that you quit your corner office job to spread more joy and cheer in the world. You call it the House of Cheer Network Private Limited. Sir, it is an honor to have you.
First, let me make it simple for you. Call me Raj.
Okay, done.
That will make it easier because
Okay.
nobody calls me sir. Even in the companies I work with, all my colleagues call me Raj.
I really appreciate that. And we will start with, I wanted to first think about what should I talk to Raj about, because there are so many things that you're doing. You're so enterprising and full of ideas. So I thought that we will talk about the old argument, the age old argument of whether money is more important or relationships are more important. Because at some point in our lives, we all face this question and we struggle with the answer on balancing money with relationships, because I understand both are important, but then how do we really strike the balance? And that's why my first question to you is, tell me a little bit about why happiness as a concept is important to you.
Okay, first let me start with the last question first,
Okay.
because I think happiness is the sole purpose of every human being.
Yes.
Every human being. You
Yes.
take a person, put them in a room, and tell them what they want. They will first say,
Yeah.
"Achhi biwi chahiye, ya अच्छा पति चाहिए, good education, roti, kapda, makan, then gadi,
Yes.
naukri, all I mean, somebody may say Ferrari, yacht, whatever it is.
Yes.
But at the end, you keep on probing. They'll say, "I want to be happy, and I want to be peaceful and happy."
Correct.
That is the sole purpose of every human being.
Agree.
Okay. People may go in to different routes to reach there, but
Right.
ultimately that's the ultimate destination. There are only two ultimate destinations. One is to go up, okay, which you can't predict, and one is to be happy when you're down.
Correct.
Okay. So that is my first. My second thing is when you ask me about relationships and finance.
Hmm?
That's what your question was. What
Correct.
is more important?
Correct.
I think it also is at different stages of your life.
Absolutely right.
Okay, both are important in all stages of your life,
Right.
but it may vary in different stages. When you're young, starting your career and things like that, you need to make your both ends meet. You
Yes.
have to survive, so probably you will give a little more emphasis to money.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
whereas I would say ideal situation would be 50-50,
Mm-hmm.
because in fact, as you grow older, I would actually tilt the balance in relationships rather than money
You're
for
right.
two reasons, right? One is, if you have relationships, they are your insurance towards a lot of things. You can have all the money in the world, but you
Mm-hmm.
have no relationships, you can't eat your money. If
Exactly.
you fall sick, you need somebody to come and look after you. If
Beautiful.
you're in an emotional moment of your life, you want somebody to speak to.
Yes.
If you're going through a bad time, you wanted to somebody to step forward to help you, and that will not happen without relationships.
You're right.
Okay. So relationships and my career, by not by design necessarily, has been built by relationships rather than money. I've never looked at money in my career. If none of my employers can tell you, and I'm saying this on a podcast, that I've ever negotiated a salary till date in my whole life. Okay, and I believe that you do your job,
Yeah.
and they will find if you're worth it, they will give you what you deserve. That's the
Right.
way I look at it.
Right.
And no employer wants to lose a good employee.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
so they are not gonna compromise if they feel that this person is delivering value. They will want to hold you back. They will do everything to hold you back. You don't have to tell them to hold you back. It's as simple as that,
Absolutely.
right? Relationships are important because anything and everything you do in life
Mm-hmm.
is to do with relationships.
Yes.
Your relationship with your child, your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your employer, your relationship with your employees, your relationship with your business partners, your
Right.
relationship with your clients.
Yeah.
Right? Everything in life works around relationships.
I
If
agree.
you have relationships, everything else will follow. But if you have money, there's no guarantee everything will follow. So that's where I'm.
Beautiful, sir. And Raj, please tell me about your story behind House of Cheer. I just love the name.
I've told this story many times now. I think I can say it on autopilot. You know, I was at that stage in my career where I was doing extremely well. And you just mentioned I had a corner office, I had huge salary, everything, right? Everything going for me. And I used to tell as a it was a joke, but I lived that joke. But I used to, in conferences and all, I used to say the job of the CEO is only one thing:
Which
to
is
make sure everybody who works in the organization wakes up in the morning and has that adrenaline rush to come to work. I should be able to create that adrenaline rush for them to come to work. That's my job.
right.
And I used to joke with the team saying, बाकी काम आप लोग करोगे, क्रेडिट मेरे को मिलेगा, थोड़ा क्रेडिट मैं आपके साथ बांटूंगा. I used to actually say this.
Okay.
Until a day came when I woke up in the morning and I was not having that adrenaline rush.
Oh.
So I would go to office. I used to do everything that you're supposed to do because at a senior level, mostly you're only either making decisions or you're signing checks or you're signing some papers,
True.
right? But the thing is, I used to go, I used to attend meetings and all, and somewhere I was not enjoying it.
Mm.
And they say when beauty fades away,
Mm.
you can see it. When you become hollow from within, only you know it,
Yes, that's so deep. Mm.
right?
Mm.
And so somewhere I felt I was not contributing. I felt.
Mm.
But the world can't see it, right? Because for them, I'm coming, I'm taking decisions, I'm doing my job and everything. But I wasn't enjoying it.
You
There
can
was
feel it
something
inside you.
I
Yeah.
was feeling. I was not getting that fire in my belly, that something was missing. And initially, I attributed it to my mother, having lost my mother the same year, my brother. So I attributed initially to grief. And I
Right.
probably even went and sought some help. But then I realized it had nothing to do with that.
Mm. Mm.
And then I started, projecting it to my work. But I had a fantastic boss.
Okay.
I had a great organization. So it was not my company either.
Right. Right.
And that is when I realized that you can have everything in life, but sometimes a situation comes when you are not able to put a finger to it. Okay. And whilst I was there, I was not able to put a finger to it.
Right.
And of course, my boss convinced me to stay back. The organization asked me to stay back. They were extremely nice. They requested me to continue for another 7 months till at least the year end. I said, whatever you want me to do, because I was not planning to join another company or something. I said, I'll stay back as long as you want me to do, because they've been very good to me. They gave me my bread and butter for many years. So I wanted to leave on a good note, right? Cut to the pandemic happened.
Right.
Just before the pandemic, there's a guy called George Anderson from the UK in whose podcast I've said the same thing. So he asked me this question, what you asked me, and I answered this exactly the way I answered to you. And he said, Raj, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. He said, what could have done the organization have done to hold you back?
Acha, what a good question.
I said, George, I don't know. And without thinking, I said something which today, when I reflect, it was, it was like as if I had planned it, right?
Right.
I said, you know what, George? When people quit an organization, people do two things. They offer them more salary, more or they offer them a higher position. That's what they do.
Right.
And my organization also offered me a better whatever. They were willing to take care of me more than what they needed to, right? But I said, you know what? Nobody asked me, what are you feeling?
Yeah. How are you feeling inside? Nobody asked you
Nobody asked me
that
this question.
question.
He said, if they had asked you that question, would you have stayed back? I said, I don't know. This is all retrospective, right? But what it would have done, it would have definitely made me introspect. It would have made me
Mm.
think.
Mm.
Sometimes you need an external thing to do
You-
that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Especially your workspace.
Right.
So that's what. So that's when, that idea actually, whilst I wanted to do something in happiness, I didn't know what to do.
Mm.
Okay, I just knew how to spell happiness, but I didn't know anything beyond that. Even though my company is not spelled the traditional way, it is spelled
Yes.
HAPPYNESS.
Correct.
That's because we wanted to be a little distinct. And I had been to Bhutan, I knew I wanted to do something, but this suddenly made me think that there may be many people like me
Mm.
who have everything going for them and they're not happy.
Yeah.
And when I started speaking to some CEOs and CXOs and even mid-level people,
Right.
you will be amazed how many people are unhappy at their workspace.
You're
You'll be
so right.
amazed, right? And I started probing, and they said, not everyone comes from certain privilege.
That's
I
right.
was at that certain stage of my life. Maybe
Mm.
15 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to make the same decision.
Right.
I was at the stage of my life where both my daughters had grown up.
Yeah.
I had a roof on the head, food on the table,
Yes.
and a little nest for
Yes.
my, if anything goes wrong, these things will remain constant.
Correct.
But not everybody has that. Some people have EMIs, somebody
Yes.
have their children's education, they
Yes.
have got housing loan, everything.
Right.
So even them being unhappy,
Mm.
they continue being unhappy.
You're right.
So I felt there is a business opportunity here.
Mm-hmm.
If I can help organizations make their people happy, okay.
Wow.
And that's when I started working. I spoke to a few neuroscientists, positive psychologists, and put a framework together
Mm-hmm.
where we measure the happiness quotient of organization and its people.
Amazing.
And now I've even segued one step further. We even certify organizations as happiest places to work.
Wow.
Okay. We segued even further because we realized everybody who pays us money also want a badge.
They want
say,
a badge,
"Hey,
yeah.
yeah." But they only get the badge if their people are really happy. At least
Right.
others they won't get it, right? And then we also said that okay, it's not just the organization knowing whether their people are happy or not. Their people should also know where they stand in context to the organization.
So important.
So our whole platform is a two-way platform.
Mm.
Of course, it's gamified with a deck of cards, and every person who plays the game at the end of it gets a OTP number, and
Acha.
they take the OTP number, go and put it on my website. They get their individual report telling them where they stand in context to the organization.
Amazing.
There is nothing like this anywhere in the world, okay? And the organization gets its dashboard, it gets all kind of sliced and diced reports and everything, whichever filters they want.
Right.
So now what happens is the individual gets his or her report. What do they do with it? Put the media, okay.
Ah.
So we created a knowledge hub. They can go to our knowledge hub. They can watch podcasts, videos, read articles to upskill themselves.
Ah.
And from the management point, if say Jyotika is the CEO of the company and she says, okay, Raj, these are our insights. How can you help us? Then we say, we've given you the prescription, right? हमने बता दिया कि आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम
क्या
है.
प्रॉब्लम है?
अभी आप सर्जरी किसी से करा लो. अगर आप नहीं करा पाते तो हमको बोल दो. We have a panel of experts who will address it for you.
Excellent. So one-stop shop for everything.
Anything to do with happiness in the corporate sector at the moment. But obviously, my plan, my vision is, a happier, healthier planet. That's if you ask me to put it in one line. So I will at some point because you can't run a business without money. You can't, okay?
You can't.
And I can't live on love and fresh air,
I agree.
right?
Yeah.
Right now, for the last 3.5 years, I'm burning, and we haven't taken a single penny investment from anybody else. Right? It's a self-funded because your conviction is so high, right?
Your
And
passion project. Hmm.
it's my passion project, right?
Hmm.
So the thing is, at some point, I want to do B2C.
Correct.
So we have plans, and we will be going step by step by step.
Wonderful.
That's House of Cheer.
Out of cheer, imagine, and you're spreading the joy. And I'm with you, sir. Our goals are aligned. Whatever you need, whenever you need, we are stronger together, and together we will make sure.
I will not align with you until you call me Raj.
Okay, Raj, fine.
Yes. No, of course, sure. 100%. No, I've been wanting to talk to you, Jyotika. I'll be lying if I said no. But I haven't been to Delhi. But when you come to Bombay, I come to Delhi. We should sit.
Yes.
And the idea is the more people come together,
Yes.
there's a multiplier effect. And together we are stronger and better, and we can create a happier world.
I agree with you 100%. And what is your happiness mantra? What do you do to stay happy and upbeat? Because every time I talk to you, you include this happy energy. That's why you are a happiness crusader.
No, no, I've always been happy. I mean, this has been, this Raj Cheerful tag on my Twitter handle came
Mm.
back to it. It's if you go back and see when I opened my email account of it, those days it was Raj Cheerful at Hotmail account was
And
about 2001, 2002.
Acha.
Okay, and it happened by default. It hadn't happened by design.
Uh-huh.
I was with Star TV and I'd quit my job, and
Mm.
and for 9 months there was some no compete clause and things like that.
Mm.
So at that time, I had no clue how to use a computer. Okay, because I had three secretaries who, I had an executive assistant and a secretary who did my work. So I never used actually sent and received mails. They
Right.
used to take printouts, I used to write on it and give it back, and they would send it. So when I was at home with nobody at my command, and I had to do everything myself, my daughter, who's now a professor in the US, at that time she was in the 8th standard, I told, Samira, can you open an email account for me? So, because they were savvy, right? So
Right.
she said, okay, dad, sit down. What do you want? I said, Raj Nayak. And those days it used to be Hotmail.
Yes,
So
that's right.
Raj Nayak at hotmail.com. She said, no, that doesn't sound nice. You have to make it little interesting. So she wrote Raj Grouchy at hotmail.com. And then she said, that's who you are. But for the outside world, I'll give you a new name. And she wrote Raj Cheerful at hotmail.com.
I love it.
That's how I got my email ID. And later in life, when I opened my Twitter or Facebook, everything, I kept it as Raj Cheerful. And it's such a coincidence. And I believe in destiny.
Yeah.
25 years later, or whenever it is, 20 years later, I open a company called House of Cheer.
Universal order. This had to happen. Amazing. Amazing.
So somewhere I'm a big believer of destiny. I call myself destiny's child. Because
I-
everything that's happened in my life has happened by default. Nothing has happened by design.
I agree with you.
And coming to your question on early in my life, my mother taught me two things.
Mm-hmm.
She said you should be content in life with
Yeah.
whatever you do.
That's so important.
हमेशा नीचे देखो, ऊपर मत
मत
देखो.
देखो.
फिर आपको पता चलेगा आप कितने ऊपर है.
Beautiful.
I think that whole thing is I've always been contented with whatever I had. And God has been extremely kind in many which ways.
Yes.
I started my career where I used to go to a bank and sit in front of the bank manager's office every evening after work for about 6 months. 6,000 रुपए का लोन चाहिए था SD बाइक खरीदने के लिए.
Oh,
उस जमाने में लोन के लिए इतना उसने तरस आके मेरे को लोन दे दिया. जब तक मेरी अच्छी नौकरी लग गई मेरे को उसकी लोन की जरूरत नहीं थी.
oh.
And then your first job, you said, I had a 1957 model Fiat. So I was like, if I can buy a Maruti 800 na down payment के लिए पैसा है तो I'll be happy. From there to where you achieved, where you arrived in life, you can only be grateful for everything that's happened.
Gratitude. Yes, that's right. And happiness is impossible without contentment and gratitude. And your mom.
Yeah,
gave-
you should at every moment in your life, be grateful for what you have.
I agree.
And accept life, because life is going to have its twists and turns.
Yes.
And that is what makes life beautiful. And the way I tell people is, if you go on a holiday, take the highway,
Ah,
okay, and you don't see anything. Take the country roads, see the scenery. But the highway is straight.
Correct.
The country is ups and downs and ups and downs. There's beauty in it. And even in life, real life, a straight line means you're dead.
Exactly. The highs and lows is what makes life fascinating. I agree.
Exactly. That's all emotions, good, bad, ugly. It's nice. That's what. So you have to accept it. The moment you accept it,
Yes.
everything falls in place.
Yeah. So how do you balance relationships with your dreams or your career aspirations? आपने balance कैसे रखा?
Be authentic. Because if you're not authentic, the mask is going to fall at some point.
Yes.
Be genuine.
Be true to yourself. Exactly.
Be true to yourself. Simple. All my relationships, I've had major fights with my clients, with people who I do business. I'll be lying if I haven't. But I've always fought an issue. I've never fought the person.
Lovely. So you separate the person from the problem.
So then they'll respect you. At that moment, obviously they're irritated, but later, never get personal.
Yeah, very nice.
So that's the thing. And if you are genuine, over a period of time, the person on the other side will become genuine.
100%.
Otherwise, that relationship won't last.
Yeah. Very true. And we have audiences where there are parents, professionals, young adults. So what advice, Raj, would you have for parents, for professionals and young adults?
I have no advice as such, but I'll start with the young children. I mean, okay.
Yes.
One thing I also learned in life is there is so much you can learn from older people.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, when I say old, today old has a different connotation. Today old is 70 plus probably. But elderly people, what I would like, there's so much wisdom that money can't buy.
I agree.
And two, is everybody at a certain age, beyond a certain age, they don't want your money. They don't want anything from you. All they want is your time.
Yes.
If you can give them your time, because it doesn't cost you, the things you will learn from them is unbelievable. At very early stage in my life, I started spending time with elderly people. Like if I go to a party, I would rather, instead of my friend and his friends, I would go and sit with his friend's mom and have a chat with her.
Nice.
You understood? So that's one thing. For parents, I would say, don't push your children. They let them blossom on their own. ये pressure डालते हैं ना, education, first आना है, तुमको
Ivy League जाना है.
अरे जिंदगी में इतने रेस उनको भागना पड़ेगा, आपको पता भी नहीं, अभी उनको रहने दो, ऐश करने दो.
बिल्कुल.
और वो अपने आप सीखेगा, वो अपने आप करेगा. Don't pressurize your children on anything. Give them the freedom to excel. If they are not good in studies, leave it. They will find their own. Everybody comes with a destiny. I mean, you look at yourself. I tell parents, did you plan what you're going to do? Did you plan who you're going to marry? So don't put pressure on that.
Yes.
And who are the last person is, and to the
professionals, working professionals.
For working professionals, I would say, if you're not passionate about your job, if you're not enjoying your job, quit, because you're doing a disservice to yourself and to the organization.
Yeah.
And you will waste your time, because 3 years later you will realize I could have done something else. And your calling will be, then you'll say, oh shit, now I can't change, and things like that. If the moment you're not happy and the moment you are not enjoying what you do, you should quit. That's first.
Yes.
2 is, don't chase money. If you enjoy what you do, if that becomes your passion, money will follow you. And an organization will recognize that talent, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. You will get rewarded. It will get adjusted at some point. It will catch up.
It will catch up.
And you will only get what you deserve. So don't demand.
Lovely.
That's
wise. Lovely advice. And just like you, your thoughts also echo with my sentiments that prioritizing relationships over money really means recognizing the importance of emotional connections, trust, and support in one's life. Like, I have not met you, but I feel an emotional connection. I value this relationship because it involves investment of your time and effort, because it's helping the relationship. And that's what life is about.
Exactly.
And you find greater meaning and happiness by just focusing on your relationships. I'm not saying money is not important, but money is not everything.
Yes. Let me put it another way. And if you're successful, there's
Yes.
no guarantee that you're happy.
Agreed. Bilkul sahi.
But if you're happy, you are successful. I'm trying that. I'm not bad.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much. This was so special.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
This will
I
help.
enjoyed this conversation with you.
Same here.
I'm looking forward to meeting you someday.
Very soon. I'm manifesting it. We will meet very soon. We'll cross paths very soon. Big
Thank
hug
you,
to you.
Jyotika.
Thank you. Stay blessed.
Thank you. Take care and have a wonderful day, week, and year ahead.
And you too. And keep spreading the cheer.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Happiness is love, love, love.
Happiness is love, love, love. And you are a crusader. You're a happiness brand ambassador.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye.